What's it do with Joel Magic? What's up, Gadget Crystals, and welcome back to Doki Literature Club. Now, if you're watching this video, that means you've chosen Yuri. Well, I'll probably be most useful helping out Yuri. Me? Are you serious? Why would you? Natsuki, I can already tell you're about to say something mean. No, I was just saying, she'll be helping Yuri then, Kubo? Yeah. If that's okay with you, Yuri? Of course, sorry, I have a bad habit of overthinking these sort of things. Your assistance will be much appreciated. Okay, well, that's sorted then. Natsuki, will you be able to handle the baking yourself? I mean, yeah. I already said I would be fine. Okay. How about you, Yuri? We can work together if you want. I think I'll be okay, thanks! What an independent bunch you all are. So is that everything we need to go over? Yeah, that should be about it. Are you guys excited? Well, excited may not be the right word, but I suppose I'm looking forward to it a little bit. She glances shyly at my direction. Do you feel the same way, Quibble? Yeah, I haven't really made any banners before. I don't know much about aromatherapy, whatever that is. So it'll be a new experience for me. I'm sorry in advance if I'm not very useful, Yuri. No, there's nothing to worry about. I appreciate you offering help to me in the first place. Good to know, it'll be fun. Yeah, that's the spirit, guys. That's good enough for me. What about you, Natsuki? I'm just looking forward to making all those cupcakes. Those new students better appreciate them. I'm sure they will. Don't you worry. After all, they look just as nice as they taste. There's a general murmur of agreement. I have a little surprise in mind with the cupcakes that I think everyone will like. Oh? What'd that be? Natsuki rolls her eyes. It's called a surprise for a reason, dummy. You'll find out on Monday. Of course, how silly of me to forget. Anyway, there's nothing more to discuss for today. Everyone knows what they're doing, so I'll see you all on Monday with your festival stuff. Oh, before I go, Sayori, anything you want to add? Sayori has been awfully quiet. If I wasn't so worried about her, I might have forgotten she was in the room. No, I'm okay, thanks! I'm looking forward to one of your little mysteries, Natsuki! As Natsuki and Monica leave, Sayori turns to Yuri and I. Oh, and Quibble! Yuri? I hope you two have fun! She giggles as she walks out of the door. Hang on, we're meant to walk home together. As I move forward to intercept her, I feel a light tap on my shoulder. It's Yuri, looking incredibly sheepish. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you or anything. It's just I realized we have no way of contacting each other this weekend. I forgot myself, actually. I can't believe that slipped my mind. Do you, want my mobile number? I think that would be the best way, yes. Okay, here you go. We exchanged numbers. As I add her name to my list of contacts, I realize how small my contact list actually is. Apart from Sayori and my parents, it's basically empty. A reminder of how life was before joining this club. Quibble? Huh, sorry, I must have spaced out a little. It's okay. I was just saying I'll be stopping by your house on Sunday. My house? Is that a problem? No, not at all. I just thought that I'd be the one going to your house since I'm the one helping you. I suppose that makes sense. But if you don't mind, I think I would prefer going to your house. Oh, yeah, I guess that's fine. I decided not to press Yuri for a reason. I guess it's not really that important either way. I'll just need to make sure my room is clean. I hope I can actually contribute to whatever you have in mind, Yuri. I'm not nearly as creative as you are. Don't underestimate yourself, Quibble. I think that we'll make a very productive team. Even if you only chose me because you felt bad or something. Wait! You don't actually think that, do you? I don't know. It's difficult to come with any other reason you may have chosen me. You're forgetting the one reason with the most common sense. I chose to help you because that's simply what I want to do. But Yuri thinks to herself with an extremely tense expression. Whoa, what the? Okay, I don't know what that was. Bing. What is going on? Okay, where am I? That was weird. It's already Sunday. I've been getting increasingly anxious about Yuri's upcoming visit. Oh, is this the lounge? I kept telling myself there's no reason to be nervous, but it doesn't help much. Yuri is clearly an introvert and also an intimate person in general. There's no doubt that she'll open up a little bit when it's just the two of us. Meanwhile, we've even been texting occasionally. She was extremely apprehensive at first, but it wasn't long before I was already learning about her. More about her. I peek out of my window and notice... Oh. Yuri? She's not supposed to be here for a little while. I go downstairs and open the front door. It's the original clothes she wore in the last game when you choose her. I was worried that this was the wrong house. I probably should have asked about it earlier. No, it's okay. You're a bit early, though. But that's alright. I'm glad I took the time to tidy things up before she arrived. If she'd arrived earlier and I hadn't done anything, I would have been really embarrassed. Were you waiting for a long time? No, I just got here. I suppose I was just a bit anxious and I'd follow your directions wrong. You always could have texted me. If I had known, I would have reassured you and hurried more on my way home. I suppose that's true. I didn't think of that for some reason. It should be common sense to do that, but I decided to ignore it. I see you brought a lot of stuff with you. That's right. And did you manage to find everything I asked you to buy as well? Well, I actually had a bit of trouble. Is that so? Yuri had texted me a list of art supplies yesterday, and I was supposed to pick them up for today. It probably works out better this way, since she'll be able to get exactly what she's looking for. But, well, we should be able to take some things from the art room at school. As long as I could leave my things at your house first, I'd rather not carry them with me. Sure, no problem. I quickly opened the front door to my house, and Yuri places her things just past it. That way, we'll see them as soon as we get back. Right then, shall we? The two of us briskly start walking to school. The weather is beautiful and the light breeze blows throughout the streets. Yuri is rather quiet and she doesn't seem to be annoyed. I've come to learn that she tends to appreciate things from afar, so her silence isn't too worrying. It's odd being at school on the weekend. The mood of the place feels totally different without the crowds of students around. Yuri leads me down a long corridor until we reach a large imposing door. This should be it. With a slight creak, she opens the door and heads inside. The smell of dried paint lingers in the air. While not terribly large, this place should have what we're looking for. Okay, so we need a large cloth banner and some paint. Do you have brushes already? I think so. It couldn't hurt to get some more though. Yuri strides through the classroom, a determined look on her face. It's quite a stunning contrast to how she usually appears. I kinda like it. She bends down and pulls a long thick sheet of fabric from a shelf down below. With surprising haste, she folds it up into a neat bundle and tucks it in under her arm. You know, Cribble? Yeah? Well... She closes her eyes, taking a quick breath. I know we haven't even started yet, but this is nice. We're doing something so simple together, yet it feels so enrapturing. That's a bit foreign, isn't it? Yuri seems to think so too, so her face flushes. I didn't mean for that to sound so serious. We're not even decorating yet. I'm ruining this. I'm ruining things. She retreats into the deep purple shroud of her hair, fidgeting with a loose strand. Now this is the Yuri I'm more accustomed to. Yuri, I thought we went over this. You don't have to worry about that. I know that's just your way of expressing how excited you are to start working on a part of the festival. And I'm excited too. Okay, if that's how you feel. She nervously scans the shelves, picking out the various of different paints we'll need. In the end, we spent a bit more time than I was expecting here. Seems Yuri really pays attention to the quality of what she wants. But if it'll make things go well with Yuri today, I don't mind. Right, shall we head back to my place and get started on this? Yes, we should have everything we need now. Once we arrive back at my house, I unlock the door and guide her up to my bedroom. There should be enough space for us to work out on the banner up there. As soon as I open the door, Yuri wanders around my room curiously. Quibble, your house is remarkably tidy. I cleaned it before you came over, so... oh, you don't have to do that just for me. No. I would really be embarrassed if my room was to be a mess while you were here. I see. That makes sense. After all, a clear room makes a clear mind, does it not? Cleaning can be very fun. I would have been more than happy to have helped you. Please, what kind of host would I be if I left this place a tip? Besides, I like to know where everything is in my room. Everything has its own place, you know? Yuri nods and walks over to my desk. She carefully studies the various collectibles I have set up on it. Suddenly, she reaches down and... Wait, don't look in there! I snatched Yuri's wrist, which was the process of opening a desk drawer of mine. Do forgive me, Quibble. I shouldn't be poking around in the properties of others. I don't know why I did that. That's great, well, never mind. I'm glad I managed to catch her before she got a chance to look inside. There's things in there that I'm not really comfortable sharing with others. I let go of Yuri's wrist. She started to fidget with her hand, gently squeezing them. So, what did you have planned, Yuri? Yes. I thought about some ways we could transform the clubroom. With the right atmospheric pieces, we could morph the world into our own citadel of scansion, our domain of declension, our... Yuri blushes, but perhaps she feels as though she got a bit carried away. That sounds ambitious. What kind of atmospheric pieces were you thinking of? Well, even something as simple as adjusting the lighting or employing aromatherapy could be wonderful. Wow. I'm impressed, Yuri. You've really put a lot of thought into this. It's nothing really. I was just hoping that I could make our recital an event that plucks out at the soul. Through our words, our visitors can experience our struggles and strife vicariously. That sounds intense. Intense? I guess that's the best way to put it. Is that a bad thing? No, not at all. It's something that I like about you, actually. Is that so? That makes me feel relieved. I'm kind of happy. Yeah, no need to be so anxious. You can relax a little. Relax? I brought some things for relaxations. I was going to use them during the poetry event. Oh yeah? Like what? Let's see. Yuri rummages through a bag. She pulls out a cylindrical wooden object and places it on my desk. I thought about covering the windows up and having a small candle provide the room illumination. I think it would make our event much more an intimate affair, don't you agree? Yeah. The way Yuri worded that sounds a bit forward, doesn't it? I choose not to press it, though. What's that one thing, though? Oh, it's an oil diffuser. It's actually my personal one from home. Tell me, Quibble, how much do you know about aromatherapy? Not as much as I'd like to. Well, let me tell you about it a little. I believe the scent of an area can completely alter how we perceive it. Being able to alter the aura of the room like that, there's something magical about it. Yuri opens it up and retrieves a tiny glass bottle from a bag, alongside a bigger plastic one filled with water. She empties the larger bottle into the diffuser, then uncaps the tiny bottle and adds a few drops to it, then pushes a button. Within seconds, a delightful smelling Miss Delicatelli floats out of it. Wow, that smells wonderful. What was the stuff you were adding to it? It's my favorite essential oil. It's derived from the jasmine flower. It has beautifully alluring scent, wouldn't you agree? It really does smell nice. Was there a particular reason you chose it? Well, While it's true that jasmine can aid relaxation, it has various other properties. It can enhance your emotions and stir the mind. What might simply be curiosity can grow into enrapturing awe and wonder. A mild interest can blossom into an exciting infatuation. Some would describe it as aphrodisiac, but I think that has more to do with the warm feeling it can give you. You're drawn in, your heart pounding along with the world around you. Doesn't that sound pulchritudinous, Scribble? Yeah, I think that'd be perfect. I'm not sure what the word means, but based on her reaction, it must mean something good. You're quite an expert on this, aren't you? I'll trust your judgment. Yuri smiles gently, clearly enjoying herself. She again reaches into her bag and pulls out several spools of thin ribbon. What are those for? Oh, well, did you purchase the origami paper I asked you to get? Yeah, I have it right here. You won't be using the paper for folding origami. What I'd like to do is write a different kanji character on each paper. We'll need about 100 of them. Oh yeah? What will those be used for? Well, I'm going to cut pieces of ribbons to hang from the doorway of the classroom. Then we can fasten the kanji paper onto ribbons to create a doorway curtain. Wouldn't that be beautiful? It would also catch the eye of those passing by the room. It may attract them to peek inside. That's really creative. I had no idea you'd be so good at this, Yuri. Is that so? Well, I suppose I do get a little intense, as you put it. Yuri giggles with red cheeks. Is she more relaxed when it's just the two of us? Or maybe it's just the excitement she feels about sharing something that she enjoys. Here's a marker, Quibble. You can write any characters you want. I'll help you once I finish cutting the ribbons. Alright. Sitting on the floor together, the two of us get to work. I carefully draw a different character on each paper, doing my best to manage my bad handwriting. Yuri unravels a long strand of red ribbon to her desired length. Then she reaches into her bag once more and pulls out a pocket knife. The knife is strangely beautiful. The silver handle and an intricate pattern of waves etched into it. The blade itself is gently tinted blue. That's no ordinary pocket knife. It looks really fancy. Well... Embarrassed, Yuri looks away. What is it? You're going to think it's weird. Yuri, whatever it is, I have no reason to judge. To each their own, you know. If you promise you won't be weirded out. Yeah, I promise. Alright. The thing is, I'm kind of into knives. They're just so pretty. I can't help it. I don't know what it is. The combination of craftsmanship and feeling of danger, maybe. What am I saying? Please don't think I'm weird for this. You're laughing at me. No, I'm not laughing at you. It's just funny how nervous you got about sharing. It's a well and interesting thing about to be into, I guess. But I think it kind of suits you. Suits me? Yeah, it's kind of intense. Besides, it's really a cool looking knife. I can't deny that. It is, isn't it? Yuri relaxes her expression once again. Would you like to hold it? Sure, I'll check it out. Yuri carefully hands me the knife, with the handle facing me. I take it and turn it around in my hands. It feels heavy and extremely solid. Where do you even get a knife like this? Curious of the sharpness, I feel the pointy knife with my index finger. Ow! Quibble! Why did you do that? I didn't expect it to be that sharp. I barely touched it at all. It's my fault. I should have warned you. This knife is extremely sharp. It can cut through skin just like paper. Oh no! A small drop of blood tickles down the side of my finger. Oh gosh. Yuri takes my hand and gives the wound a closer look. She stares at it and noticeably fidgets. Where did you keep the first aid kit? We'll need to sterilize the wound, then wrap it to halt the blood flow. Do you have gauze? It should... I raise my hand, cutting Yuri off. Yuri, I don't think it's that serious. I probably just need a bandage. Yuri's pupils narrow, perhaps afraid that she went too far. But I appreciate your concern. Will you be okay for a little while? Oh, yes, of course. I quickly run to the kitchen and rinse the cut, then apply a small plaster. It stings a little, but that should be the worst of it. As I return, Yuri's eyes dart around the room as though she were too embarrassed to look at me. I went a bit overboard there. I'm sorry if I made things awkward. Yuri hangs her head shamefully. Yuri! My parents were doctors, so I always tend to jump to the most severe conclusion when it comes to the personal injury. I never know how to read the situation. I'm so sorry for making you feel so out of place. In your own home, no less, Yuri. She's way too harsh on herself. How can I fix this? It's really okay, your heart was in the right place. She doesn't look up. I appreciate that you were concerned about me, but I'm fine, see? It was only a tiny nick. It's my fault anyway for being so careless with your knife. I see. The panic in her eyes evaporates, replaced by a common stillness. Seeing her ease up a bit is reassuring. Maybe the oil diffuser is helping. Thank you for being patient with me, Quibble. Yuri giggles shyly. That was really cute. I was definitely not expecting it. My face grows hot. Yeah, no worries. I clear my throat. We each resume our respective activities. I watch Yuri's knife cut through the ribbon like it's nothing but air. Meanwhile, I continue to make progress on the kanji. After we finish attaching the papers to the ribbons, we lay them all out side by side. It looks better than I expected. It seems like it'll be effective as a door curtain. Looks great. Good thinking coming up with this, Yuri. Thanks. It's going to look wonderful, isn't it? Are you ready to move on to the next task? Yeah, let's do it. What do you have in mind? Well, remember the paint and the banner? I'd like to make something with that, something to display in the clubroom. That's right. Yuri had made a big deal about fetching the banner from the art room. She must have been looking forward to this. Could you retrieve the paint and brushes from the other room? I can stay here and unravel the banner. Yeah, sure. I'll be right back. Thank you very much. I head downstairs and pick up the bag filled with acrylic paint, and there's mixing palettes in several different colors. I stop to fill up a couple of cups of water for diluting the brushes afterwards, then go back upstairs. Yuri? Quibble. As I open the door, Yuri is hurriedly rolling her sleeves over her arms. Nothing. Your face is a little red. Is it too hot in here or anything? No, not at all. There's something wrong, so let's get to work. I can't shake the feeling that there's something she's not telling me, but I don't push the point further. So, I think if we did a color gradient across the banner, it would look wonderful. Starting with warm colors, then blending into darker shades. I thought a day-to-night cycle would be really pretty. Once it's finished, we could write something inspirational across it. We could hang it on the wall and behind the podium at the front of the classroom. Neat. What are you going to write? Well, it will be more fun to surprise you. Yuri smiles at me. If you say so. I kneel down on the opposite side of the banner as Yuri. Yuri uses a brush and adds a few dots of different colors across the banner to serve as a color guide when we paint. This kind of reminds me of elementary school. Painting on a banner with watercolors feeling a lot like the art class projects we had back then. It's relaxing. If this is too immature for you, then I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean that at all. It's kind of fun, you know. Yeah. I suppose it is. What? I suppose it is. I'm glad you feel that way, Quibble. Yuri places her brush down, pondering to herself. Most people our age want to do wild things, but I'm usually more comfortable doing something soothing. I'm quite content with just a bit of company. Even if it's something simple like reading, we don't need to be talking a lot. Just having a friend next to me makes things feel a little bit nicer. I think that's all it takes for me to be happy. Is that so? Even if Yuri and I are quite different, I can understand where she's coming from. I feel that way about things like anime and games, where simply sharing the experience with someone can make me happy. I think I feel the same way as well. Yuri smiles gently. I need you to understand. Yuri leans over the planet to grab an unused paintbrush, but I move the same time, causing my head to bump into hers. Yeah. Sorry. Yuri reels back, and I quickly lift my hand in surprise. Are you hurt? I don't think so. It just startled me, that's all. Sorry, I should have asked you to get it for me. It's not your fault. Your face. There's a droplet of paint on Yuri's face and neck. Is there something on my face? Yeah, I accidentally got paint on you. Sorry, it's not my fault. I'll get a towel right away. I rush out and fetch a small towel, and then I dampen it with hot water. I return to my room and kneel back down in front of her. Gosh dang it. Here. I pat down Yuri's face and neck with a towel. Is something wrong? It's warm. I just didn't expect it. Sorry. I don't want to use cold water. Having finished, I start to retract my hand, but Yuri suddenly holds my wrist. Hold on a moment. Just for a little longer. It feels really nice. I keep my hand still against Yuri's neck. She looks into my eyes, an intense expression that I recognize from when she reads her books, almost as if she lost in daze and enveloped by her own thoughts. She breathes gently, half through slightly parted lips. What is happening? Stop, please, stop. Is it the aroma of the jasmine oil giving me the dizzy feeling? Yuri's gentle finger wraps around my wrist, sends a tingling sensation through my arm, and suddenly her face seems much closer to mine than it was just a moment ago. Yuri slowly pulls away. Sorry, I've been feeling a little lightheaded today. I didn't mean to space out. It's fine. The moment is over as soon as it began. Yuri picks up her brush again, but her movement seems clumsier, like she's unable to focus. I remain silent, forced to ignore that even that just transpired. I hesitantly retrieve my own brush and contribute following Yuri's example. That should do it. I finish filling the night sky with white dots that looks like stars. Looking at the banner as a whole, it's pretty and natural looking. I think it came out better than I expected. I'm really happy with the results. Yeah, me too. Are you going to add the lettering now? Not yet. It needs to dry first. That's true, but won't that take a while? Well, perhaps it would be best to leave it here, then have you bring it in the morning. I can do the lettering in the classroom before our event starts. Is that okay? That's totally fine. Wonderful. In that case, I don't think there's anything more for us to do here. Phew. You say that like you're glad it's over. Was I wrong to assume you were at least enjoying yourself a little bit? No, it's not that. I'm just glad that we managed to get everything done. I see. I am too. I was a little concerned about time. I need to start making dinner soon. So you don't have any time left? I was secretly hoping that we could have extra time after finishing the work. Well... Yuri thinks to herself, I think it would be too irresponsible for me to wait much longer. I'm sorry. I was hoping there would be more time as well. It's probably my fault. Sorry for being such a slow worker. No, it's not your fault at all. And the important thing is that we got everything done, right? Yeah. So, I shouldn't be disappointed or anything. Gathering all of her things, Yuri seems to look a little downcast. I understand why. It sounds like exactly she rarely gets the opportunity to spend time with friends in a relaxed environment. But that doesn't mean that this is the last time it can't happen. Once Yuri packs up, I walk her out the front door. Thank you very much for having me today. No problem, I'm glad I was able to help. Just let me know if there's anything else you need me to bring tomorrow. I will. Well then. Yuri fidgets. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Wait. I kind of say that without thinking. About today, I find that we didn't have as much time as we wanted. Because we can do this again. Whenever you want, you can come over or we can go out somewhere. I'm glad you don't like going out much. As I stumble over my words, Yuri simply smiles bashfully. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, so... You're very thoughtful, Quibble. Yuri takes a step closer to me, then briefly squeezes my hand. I could have liked that about you. Well, how am I supposed to respond to that? I don't want to make things awkward, but... I would like to spend more time with you as well, Quibble. She takes a slow deep breath and releases my hand. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you at the festival. With one last smile, Yuri starts to head home. She looks back over her shoulders, but then quickly turns back around. I'm really grateful that I got to do this with Yuri. I enjoy my time with her a lot. The way she said she simply enjoys having company, I understand exactly what she means. Tomorrow's going to be incredible, I just know it. Bing, 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 bing. Alright guys, but anyway guys, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like it, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you all in the future. Goodbye.